Witam Was w omówieniu gry o nazwie Stanley Parable. Jest to gra o dokonywaniu wyborów i konsekwencjach, które się z nimi wiążą. Zacznijmy od obejrzenia intro.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
W grze inną ważną postacią, oprócz głównego bohatera Stanleya, jest narrator.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ale kim jest narrator? Może to nasza podświadomość, szef korporacji, osoba opisująca, co się dzieje, albo ktoś, kto chce po prostu przedstawić nam ciekawą historię.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Właśnie mieliśmy okazję dokonać pierwszego, jak się wydaje, wyboru w tej grze. Mogliśmy postąpić tak, jak chce narrator, lub wręcz przeciwnie.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Tutaj po raz kolejny mogliśmy pójść w górę, tak jak chce narrator, lub postąpić po swojemu i pójść w dół. Ja jednak na razie będę postępować dokładnie tak, jak chce narrator.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him, and so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Tutaj narrator mówi nam coś, czego Stanley nie mógł wiedzieć. Podaje nam kod do panelu. Jeżeli zwróciliście uwagę, przez cały ten czas narrator nie zwracał się do nas bezpośrednio, a jedynie opowiadał, co się dzieje. I również nasze nietypowe zachowanie spróbuje wpisać w swoją historię.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Szczerze przyznam, że przy pierwszym podejściu do gry postępowałem dokładnie tak, jak mówił narrator. Jednakże zrobiłem to dlatego, że chciałem dać mu możliwość opowiedzenia tej historii.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Ignorujemy nawet napis wyjście i wchodzimy wprost do ośrodka kontroli umysłów, aby odkryć tajemnicę tego miejsca.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never!
Okazuje się, że wszyscy pracownicy w budynku byli kontrolowani i to właśnie dlatego, pomimo wykonywania swojej jakże nudnej pracy, wciąż pozostawali szczęśliwymi.
But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all. Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away.
Gra kończy się, lecz zostaje niedosyt związany z licznymi pytaniami, które zachęcają nas do zagrania w grę ponownie i podejmowania własnych, nieopisanych przez narratora wyborów. Narrator sugeruje nam, że teraz Stanley jest wolny, lecz czy wolność polega na podporządkowaniu się scenariuszowi?
And Stanley was happy.
Ale co jeżeli spróbowalibyśmy podjąć inną decyzję?
Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes.
W momencie, w którym zaburzamy koncepcję narratora, zaczyna on zwracać się do nas bezpośrednio. Uświadamia nam, że teraz to gracz kontroluje sytuację. Wybuch bomby jest nieunikniony. Wydawać by się mogło, że gra daje nam szansę wyjścia z opresji, lecz wszystko na nic. Całą sytuację opisuje drwiący z gracza narrator, obserwujący nadchodzący wybuch.
Look at you, running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones, or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley?
Po raz kolejny znajdujemy się w pomieszczeniu z drzwiami. Tym razem zamiast drzwi lewych wybieramy drzwi prawe.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Narrator stwierdza, że z pewnością chcemy po prostu pooglądać salę konferencyjną i zaraz wrócimy na szlak.
Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Wchodząc do pomieszczenia z windą, możemy kompletnie zignorować narratora i skoczyć w dół, chcąc zobaczyć, jak dalej potoczy się nasza historia.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Jednak to, że coś możemy zrobić, nie znaczy, że powinniśmy to zrobić.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Narrator mówi nam, że od naszej decyzji nie zależy tylko los Stanleya, ale także jego żony, sugerując nam odebranie telefonu.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife?
W tej części gry dowiadujemy się, że żona Stanleya tak naprawdę nie istnieje. Narrator opowiada historię życia Stanleya. Historia posuwa się do przodu przez naciskanie wyświetlanych klawiszy. Narrator nie zostawia wyboru graczom, są oni zmuszeni do wykonywania poleceń. Ostatnie zdanie wyświetlane na ekranie to proszę umrzeć.
And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button.
Wróćmy do dzwoniącego telefonu i spróbujmy dokonać irracjonalnego wyboru i odłączyć telefon z prądu.
Oh, no, you can't... Did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous.
W tym momencie wyświetla się kilkuminutowy film instruktażowy mówiący o tym, czym jest wybór i jakie są jego konsekwencje. Film potem pozwoliłem sobie nieco skrócić na potrzeby prezentacji.
Your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please. Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
W tej części gry narrator traktuje nas jako realną osobę. Stara się nas przeprowadzić w szybki sposób do szczęśliwego końca gry, uprzejmie przy tym prosząc, byśmy dokładnie wykonywali jego polecenia.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world. Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late. Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do?
Narrator jeszcze chwilę później narzeka na swoją straconą historię i stwierdza, że jedynym sposobem jej odzyskania jest wyłączenie gry.
I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to. I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. My story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Po raz kolejny znajdujemy się w biurze szefa, które nieco się zmieniło. Jest mniejsze, zielone zamiast czerwonego, a co najważniejsze dla nas, zamiast prostego wpada do wpisywania liczb znajduje się tutaj odbiornik głosu, którym musimy podać słownie hasło. Jednakże Stanley tego nie potrafi, o czym narrator zdaje się nie wiedzieć.
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall. I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Narrator traktuje nasze zachowanie jako brak chęci współpracy i obraża się na nas.
If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me?
Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
Hi, Stanley.
Chciałem tylko powiedzieć, że naprawdę warto zagrać w Stanley Parable, choćby dla pozostałych wyborów, których nie zdążyłem zawrzeć w tym filmie.
I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood. Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway. Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.